folks, welcome to the Chill Out Show, a YouTube channel where the vibe is just sitting and chilling in a cozy environment, talking about movies, pop culture, and a whole bunch of things we're passionate about. The last couple of weeks have been a little bit hectic. School's really busy at the time in Australia because Year 12s are really in crunch time, getting towards the end of their schooling, but also had some really good stuff happen. We announced next year's musical. I direct the school musical at my school, and oftentimes teaching is really tricky and students aren't having the best time. When you can announce that you are doing the musical Frozen and it makes a bunch of them scream and cry and jump up and down, that's a pretty good moment. I'm also teaching some of my favourite things at the moment, introducing my Year 11s to Oscar Wilde. We're about to start studying The Importance of Being Earnest, so some things are really good there. Some other things that have been going on, I've been doing a bunch of writing. I don't really know if I've mentioned on this channel that I am a writer or trying to be a writer, and I entered a challenge that the Australian Writers Centre does every month called Furious Fiction, and basically you have a bunch of prompts and you have 500 words and 55 hours to submit a short story. This month it had to include a table, someone who lies, and the word speed, rich, and glass. And I was put on the honourable mention list, which they said was about 10% of all the hundreds of people who enter. And for the first thing like this that I've ever done, that was pretty exciting. I've put it up on my Patreon, but out of the paywall, which I'll put a link to in the description. And, while you're there, if you want to sign up to my Patreon and read other writing that I've done and support other work that I do, you are more than welcome to do that while you're there, just saying. But the other thing, of course, that I have been doing, as you may have gathered from my last video, is playing a lot of Tiny Bookshop. I have, since in the 3 weeks that it has come out, not only reached the end credits, but 100%ed that game. I have achieved all of the achievements on Steam, a thing I have never done before. Some of them, when I first got them, only like 0.4% of people who played the game had them. Now they're up a little bit, like 1 or 2%. But yeah, that's a bit wild. And now I just want more content from that game, which I'm assuming is coming based on a few hints. But also, I'm aware it takes a long time to make a video game. This just came out. There's some people already hounding them on Reddit, like, when is there going to be new DLC? I give them a minute, but damn, I have been loving that game. And then, of course, needed a little bit of something to fill that void. And I've been playing Spiritfarer, which I've been really, really enjoying. Has that same kind of no rush, here's some requests, and then can get quite emotional at the time. So that's what I've been doing with my time. Today, though, of course, we're going to start with our movie games. So let's kick off the box office game. Already I'm clocking. We've got March 16, 1984. Before I was alive. So that is always a bit more of a challenge for me. So we'll see how we go with this. Number 1 at the box office is in its second week. And the tagline is, Alan Bauer thought he'd never find the right woman. He was only half wrong. I have a hunch of what this is, and it's not correct. All right. An early Tom Hanks comedy. Oh, this is Splash. That tagline is actually kind of clever. I guess she's, the implication she's half a woman. Not a movie I have seen since I was young. There was a rumored gender flipped remake for a while with Channing Tatum playing the mer person, and I want to know where that is. God, that's a Ron Howard. Huge hit, Splash. All right, so we're doing okay. We've started all right. Number 2 at the box office. The music is on his side. Oh, well, okay. Maybe this is Footloose, right? Yeah. And not a movie I've ever seen. I know it is such a classic. But that's maybe one that I need to jump on. All right, okay, we've started well. So we got Splash, we got Footloose. A totally spaced adventure. Oh no. Okay, I don't really recognize any of those. Yeah, that's not helpful. Oh, God. Let's see. In the not too distant future, where by the most precious commodity in the galaxy is water. Is this like a Star Wars parody? It says it's a comedy. Is it just called Spaced? Is that too ridiculous to think? That's not a movie. Okay. I have no idea. The Ice Pirates. Okay, I never would have got that. What the hell is that? That's gotta be a Star Wars parody, right? Weirdly being precedent, like the galaxy's ruled over by an evil emperor presiding over a trade oligarchy. Is this like predicting the Phantom Menace? Like they're controlling trade routes? Okay, it wasn't a huge hit. I might want to look into that. What the hell is that? Alright. Number 4 is another movie in its first week. Debuting at number 4 is never great. A tank a day keeps the law away. Ooh, okay, here we're getting into 80s movies that don't exist. I'll see Thomas Howell. Oh no. His prize restored to Sherman something. Sergeant Major Zach Carey butts heads with the local sheriff. Okay, so the name of the movie is this kid's surname. I don't know what this is. I almost guessed Tank. I should have just gone with my instinct there. Apparently had a budget of $0. I don't think that's correct. Yeah, okay, yeah. Another movie that doesn't exist. Damn it, I should have gone with my instinct thinking, is that just a movie called Tank between the tagline? Alright. Number 5. In their world, adults are not allowed to live. Linda Hamilton. God, the 80s were weird. A traveling couple end up in Oh, Children of the Corn. I'm glad I'm going to end on a... Okay. I have to be specific. Yeah, okay, so I ended on a good note there. I feel like I mainly know from the Simpsons parody. Alright, so, we got a couple, but then the 2 I didn't get. Like, come on, man. This Ice Pirates movie just looks insane. Alright, so that's the box office game. Now let's turn to Cinematrix, something I don't always do. I do tend to check if I know the actors. And I do. So we got Colin Firth, we got Judy Greer, we got Jennifer Aniston. All actors who I quite enjoy. And we need $100 million worldwide box office, we need a romance, and we need double letters in the title. Colin Firth, I feel like could match quite a few of these. Double letters, I'm not going to overthink this. Sometimes I can. I'm going to go... Or do I go with the sequel? No, let's just go with the first one. It's going to be a high. Okay, all right. I'll take that. I thought that would have been the obvious one. Now, Judy Greer, I'm going to go... I've put too many double letters in that. Let's go with Jurassic World. She's the nagging sister in that. Oh, 18, damn. I thought people would forget she's in that. My other option was Suddenly 30. Maybe I should have gone with that. Alright, Jennifer Aniston. Okay, I can't. Let's go with We're the Millers. A movie I didn't mind. Could have gone with Horrible Bosses, but I feel like, yeah, okay, alright. If we're under 20%, I'm usually pretty happy. Under 10 is like sweet spot. Okay. Now, their romances and their worldwide at the box office. Like Judy Greer is in so many. I'm gonna go with 20. That also could have gone for double letters. Okay, 12% for 27. A movie I will admit I have not seen, and the only reason I know she's in it is because a clip came up of it on my Instagram the other day. Colin Firth for romance, I mean, there's a bunch. Which do I go with that is his $100 million? Because the ones that are in my brain are obviously Bridget Jones' Diary and Love Actually. Like, they could go in either one. Judy Greer, $100 million. I mean, the Jurassic World one was the obvious one there. But I feel like... I felt like... would Suddenly 30 have made $100 million? That was a pretty big hit. Oh, I've just realised it's a good thing I didn't put Suddenly 30 in there because Suddenly 30 is actually called 13 going on 30 everywhere else. It's just called Suddenly 30 in Australia because they thought people would get confused by that expression because we say that when we mean like little kids who are acting mature. Anyway, all right. Jennifer Aniston's, okay. She's been in a lot of romantic comedies. I'm going to go with one that I don't think is good. Wait. Yeah, okay. That's all right. I don't know. Oh. Weirdly a huge hit and a movie I quite like. Cool. All right. Okay. I'm happy with that. So this is the one I'm not surest about, and I don't know where to put Bridget Jones or Love Actually, because obviously I think they both fit either one. What am I going to get less of? Love Actually feels like the most obvious romance. Is there any other big hit Colin Firth? Did A King's Speech make $100 million? It probably did. But do we... this is The King's Speech. This feels like a risk. Oh, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? People forget he's in that. Thank you. Okay. Cool. There's my good catch. He's in Shakespeare in Love. He's the villain in Shakespeare in Love. Kind of, well, to the extent that that movie has a villain. He's the terrible man that Gwyneth Paltrow is supposed to marry. Okay, nice. Okay, now do I put Bridget Jones' Diary or do I put Love Actually? Is my question. I'm sure, like, he's been in other romantic comedies, of course. But I'm gonna go with Bridget. No, I'm gonna go with Love Actually. That seems like the obvious one, though. Okay, only 90%. Okay, I will take that. Now, a Judy Greer hit. She's the person who's always the friend. Super Yucky sold a t-shirt for a long time that said Judy Greer should have been the lead. And the main thing I've been consuming her in at the moment is in Archer. That's the voice of Cheryl/Carol. The main thing I can think of is 13 going on 30. Did that make $100 million? Was that big a hit? I mean, it's Jennifer Garner at her peak. I can't think of anything else. So let's just... damn it. Damn it. We were on a good streak until then. Let's see. Can I think of anything else? I don't just want to sit here and wait. Can I think of anything else Judy Greer has been in that... I don't think so. Damn it. All right. Yeah, so most people put Jurassic World. Okay, put 13 going on 30 for the romance. That makes fair. Oh, Kingsman for that. Yeah, okay. So I didn't have the most popular one in anything, and that's always what I try and do. She's in Tomorrowland. Yeah. Okay. So these are the least popular, which I'm always convinced people Google. I'm not crazy sad about that. I didn't go with the most obvious ones in any point. I'm happy with Jennifer Aniston run, I gotta say. All right. that's okay. And then let's check in with our fantasy box office, something I am still crushing. I am on $1.3 billion, largely thanks to Lilo and Stitch, and then of course Jurassic World Rebirth, thinking of Jurassic World, and How to Train Your Dragon. But this is a lead I am about to lose pretty heavily, I think. We are doing our draft for the final 4 months of the year, and I'm looking at that list and there is nothing that's really jumping out at me apart from, of course, Wicked. However, because my partner is losing, she will get to pick first. And so she will pick that. And then she's got Avatar coming out in December. So, yeah, we will hang on to this lead as long as we can, but I think it's going to disappear pretty quickly. The only guarantee here I think my first pick is going to be Zootopia 2. If we have a look at what is coming up in September, there's just not a lot that I can foresee and 100% count on really making a lot of money here. The Running Man, I think, could. Now You See Me, Now You Don't could. Five Nights at Freddy's probably will make a decent amount, but again, not huge. Like, I don't know any of these movies are making $1 billion. So, yeah, we'll just have to see about that. But I think I'm going with, I think there's a new Conjuring movie. They usually make money, but like, again, not a ton. So I don't think anything else, I can't see anything else he's making $1 billion. But we will find out. I will keep you posted on that. I'm going to enjoy my $1 billion while it lasts. I have been watching lately. So just at home in terms of television, we are still making our way through Archer. We are finally through the coma fantasy years, which is where I dropped off the show when it was originally out because it was a little bit frustrating to know you weren't watching anything with consequence. It was a lot more fun knowing that it had an end point and that we were going to get back to reality at some point and that it didn't take 3 years. It took like 3 weeks. And I enjoyed a lot of it in that context. But the fact that it's back to usual Archer spy shenanigans now has been really fun. I have been quite marveling at how good I think that show still is 11, 12 years in. I know that I believe there are people who find it drops off at some point. I've yet to, apart from the coma seasons, I've yet to really find that point. So, yeah, that's been a good time. We also took a break in the middle of that to watch the new King of the Hill season. Now, King of the Hill is not a show that I watched when it was out. It's a show I watched through recently with my partner. And I don't know, nothing about it appealed to me at the time, but I liked way more than I thought it would, even though it has some characters in it that make me so angry, even though I know that's the point. And I'm usually pretty, not anti-reboot, but often find it pretty diminishing returns. And we were so impressed with the new King of the Hill season. They did just enough of things these days are different. I was really worried it was going to be just all about that. And it wasn't. They were finding ways to tell stories about these characters and what they would be doing. And in particular, if you're unfamiliar with the show, you know, it was a family sitcom essentially with a young, you know, slightly prepubescent boy. And they have, unlike animated shows usually do, because you don't have to do this, they have jumped in time. And now he's in his early 20s, Bobby Hill, who is, as I keep saying as we're watching it, one of my favorite fictional characters. I love him in the same way I love Jean Belcher. They just have that same energy. But what they have chosen to do with his character, making him a young adult, has just worked and just fits. And again, having the characters deal with that time passing, they've just, you know, they've done a good job, and I'm impressed, and I want more of it, which is not usually how I felt about reboots when I've even bothered to watch them. So that's been quite a pleasant surprise, and quite interesting. There's some moments that have made me laugh so hard, which has been, yeah, super fun. Shows I've been watching on my own. I've just rewatched Fleabag, which I do periodically. One of my favorite shows of all time. One of the greatest television shows that has ever been created. And I'm reminded of that every single time that I watch through it. And it goes by so fast because there's really not much of it. But goddamn, what a flippin' masterpiece. And now I've started my rewatch of Boston Legal, which is a show I was really into like 15 years ago. Like I'd watch it when it was on, and I'm quite a David E. Kelly fan. Like I was all in on Ally McBeal when that was out. And you have to take it with a grain of salt and some of the ridiculousness of it, but I really enjoy Boston Legal, and I haven't watched it in many, many years. I had the first season on DVD for a while. I don't anymore, and I've only ever watched the whole series, like, because I watched it on TV, so I'd catch bits here and there. So I know the first season pretty well, which is what I'm rewatching now. But the later ones, I haven't, so I'm looking forward to getting to that, but I'm also just quite enjoying it. It's fun, and it's light, but there's moments that really get me. So that's been my television watching. In terms of films, I've seen a few actually in the cinema lately. I was going to say how retro, which is a little bit. Saw Superman a few weeks ago. Loved it. That is my favourite film of the year so far, bar none. It was so good. I can't say anything about it that hasn't already been said. It's earnestness. It's just leaning into the lore of it. Absolutely such a good time. So emotional, so funny, so perfectly cast in every role. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Then didn't get a cinematic release. Maybe good. We watched Happy Gilmore 2, which I admit I was not as excited about. I may have mentioned this before. I have mixed, complicated feelings about the career of Adam Sandler. I was never, even though I was right of that generation, I was never someone who was constantly quoting Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore. I was never a huge fan of his whole thing. I have come to appreciate a little bit more, but I also have issues, and I think he's more talented than he puts effort into being a lot of the time, which frustrates me. But anyway, damn, Happy Gilmore 2 is not good. I'm not going to go on a whole rant about it, but a waste of some potential, trying to do too much. Not using Julie Bowen is a tragedy. But insisting on using his kids, I could go on and on, but not a great time for me. Not something I can ever foresee myself wanting to ever watch again. Oofed. It's not good. On the flip side, though, last night we headed out to see the Naked Gun reboot. Talking reboots, which you hear that on paper and you're like, oh, but why though? But why? And then you started seeing the marketing and knowing who was making it and going, they seem to be on the right track. They seem to have pulled this off. And they did. What a good time. 85 minutes long. Thank you. Liam Neeson plays it perfectly. Pamela Anderson is amazing in it. There was a couple of tiny little things that maybe didn't work, but as a whole, it is firing at you so fast that anything that doesn't work, there is something else coming down the pipeline in 10 seconds. So the tone of it, they just nail. And I was reading a bit about it afterwards, as I do. And I read a review that was pointing out how rare it is now to find a comedy that's just a pure comedy. It's not trying to do anything else. All it's trying to do is make you laugh. All it's trying to do is be funny. And that's so true. And that's exactly what this movie does. And it was very, very refreshing. So a good time, like the complete opposite of like a movie. Like I can see myself watching this again and picking up on all the things that I did not pick up on. So that was a good time at the cinema. In terms of things coming out, when I was talking about the box office game, I was saying I don't know what's coming out that is going to make any money. In terms of things coming out that I'm excited about, it's kind of similarly bleak. However, the Spinal Tap 2 sequel comes out soon. I am less optimistic about that. I don't know how that's going to go, but I will be seeing it, and I'm going to hope that it's good. The first Spinal Tap, which is weird to say, is one of my favourite movies of all time. Like, by none. It's currently on my Letterboxd for. So, I trust those guys. We'll see. I'm excited, I think. I think it could be a good time. But we'll see. I'll report back. And finally today we have a physical media haul. I was hoping to have a bigger stack to show you. Last weekend or the weekend before, there was a big garage sale trail in a local town, as well as a big antique fair and market. And I went to a lot of those places and found diddly squat. And no garage sales was anyone selling DVDs, which, I don't know, it seems insane to me, but I guess that's not a really, I don't know. It was mostly like cups and things and old sewing stuff. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I did go to another market around that time and did get a little bit of a haul that I'm pretty happy with. I initially only picked up a couple of things and they were like, it's cheaper if you buy 6 of them. So I was like, well, okay. The only Disney find that I found was the Pixar short films, the first volume of this collection. I'm really happy I found this though, because I've been looking for this for ages, and I think it's, I don't know about rare, but relatively, I've never seen it before. So really happy to have that. That was the only Disney find I have. I have a very short list of Disney films that I've yet to find. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can go to my previous video about the Disney DVD quest I'm currently on to own most iconic Disney films on physical media, because they don't make them here in Australia anymore. This is Disney adjacent. I am slowly collecting Futurama and The Simpsons on DVD as well, and I have most of the other films that they made when the show was in hiatus, talking about a show that's been rebooted 1,000 times. But this was one I did not have, and so was pretty happy to find that. Then we have TV on DVD is difficult. But generally speaking, I would like my favorite shows. And one show that I love that I have none of until now is Parks and Rec. So I found season 2. Again, when they're $1 each, yes, I'm going to pick that up. This is the season where the show goes from good to great, particularly at the end. Once Chris and Ben join in the final 2 episodes, which is crazy to think it takes them that long. But, this has the beauty pageant. It starts with the penguin wedding episode. And then before it really kicks into overdrive. So, Rob Lowe was mentioned as the first guest star on this. Little did we know. So, managed to pick up that one. Also, picked up the Lego Batman movie, a movie that I just adore. And I think it's, just like the Lego movie, better than it had a right to be. Really, and is one of the best just Batman movies, let alone Lego movies. Oh no, wait, I was wrong. I did find another Disney. I did have another Disney find. We're in the Jonathan Taylor Thomas era. Tom and Huck, a movie I maybe should have seen. This is like my generation, but I never did. But yeah, I did find that one. But this was not on the list of things to find. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, hey, that's a relic. I'm gonna pick that up. So that was the other Disney film that I did find. Live action, I'm a little bit pickier about, but clearly not that picky. I picked up Tom and Huck. And then finally, I picked up Ollie Anna, which is not a movie many people have heard of, and the people who have will know it well. It is based on a David Mamet play, and I first saw it in university because we were studying the play, and it is not something I've seen since. It is fascinating. I don't even know where to start with it, and it's filmed very much like the play. It's only these 2 characters. It is 3 scenes. The play is 3 acts, and the way... I don't even know how to describe what it's about, but it's 3 conversations between a student and her university professor, and with every scene your perspective shifts with what is actually going on, and again, who is right and who is wrong, and we talked about it in terms of the way it presents perspective, and it has an incredibly explosive and upsetting ending. I know Julia Stiles and Bill Pullman played these roles either on Broadway or just a professional stage production, which would have been amazing to see. But when I saw it, I was like, I saw so many plays and films based on plays in my time at university, and some of them really stuck with me and some of them just didn't. And this Oleanna is always one that has stuck with me, along with Death of the Maiden, which has a film version with Sigourney Weaver and Ben Kingsley. That is about something kind of completely different, but is very similar in terms of the way it positions the audience to question everything and debate whether or not a person is in the right or not. So not something I would ever say I really enjoy or would ever write myself, but those two are two examples of things I watched in university that were very fascinating. So there is currently a dog on my lap who is trying desperately to get up and who wants some attention. Here is Percy. He would like some lap time. So that's probably my cue to wrap things up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This is a bit of a shorter one today, but that's cool. So we'll be back maybe playing some video games, maybe just having a chat. I'd love to talk about the things I've been reading lately, because I am powering through books like nobody's business at the moment. I'm currently reading the second Thursday Murder Club book, which I read the first one because I knew it was such a bestseller and was kind of about it. I liked it, but yes. What do you think of Thursday Murder Club? But reading the second one and really enjoying it, and I think I will be definitely watching the film version of the first one, which comes out on Netflix soon. Maybe it's already out. I don't know. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for joining me. If you've ever got suggestions or questions of things you'd like me to talk about, let me know. A few links and things to my letterbox and the fantasy box office game are in the description. Have a good couple weeks and you will see me soon.